The city uses technology against people who do not know how to do it. So when you send in your plans, and when it first started 20 years or 30 years ago, they did skinny houses, right? That's what they did. They took the 50-foot lots, they put them into skinny houses. You know, they would come to me and say, you need to do skinny houses. I'm like, no, I've got a market and I'm doing houses for people. Okay, that's fine. I still got my permits through in a reasonable amount of time. Then when they went to duplexes in the 90s and they come to me and said, you need to do duplexes, I'm like, no, I've got a market. I'm still doing houses for people in the city. And then all of a sudden my permits started to take 2 or 3 months. And then when it started to be row houses, then they come to say, you should do row houses. And I'm like, I've still got a market, and I'm 68 years old. I still have a market, and I'm building houses for people. And then they lost my drawings for the next 3 projects in a row. That's how they do it. Or when you would send them a memo, they say, oh, it doesn't come from your IP address. We don't know what it is. Oh, it got put into the junk mail. So that's how they start the process of beating down the renovators. And then they make it extremely difficult to put a renovation through. It used to be able to be affordable. In other words, we were able to use the existing services to be able to make it more affordable for people to do a renovation. They don't allow that anymore. If you try to put in a new sink or a new toilet, oh, guess what? You have to upgrade your water and sewer. Well, a renovation that was going to be $100,000 is now $130,000. How does that make it affordable for people? So then people just quit doing it. And all they do is just buy a renovated house already, which is all got a built-in profit for the developer or the flipper who did it. That's how they do it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on from
okay,
that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You know,
I think you walked into territory I don't want to get into. The second question I've got is right now, as you know, a few years ago we moved into secondary suites for single-family detached and duplexes, right? And the what's in front of us today is the permission of both secondary suites and a backyard suite on a property. Do you feel that that would help on our housing challenge?
I think that any additional housing is going to be great. I just know that there's lots of ways to do renovations on existing housing. If you took a 1,200 square foot bungalow in Radisson Heights, let's not pick a nice Northwest neighborhood, in Radisson Heights, you could build a second story on that place as a totally functioning unit. You could build a courtyard at the front, dig out the basement, allow to have nice air and everything to a nice suite in there, and you could put a garage out back with a suite on top of it, and you probably wouldn't touch one tree on the property. And you probably wouldn't hardly touch any grass. And you could actually design it so that you've got the roof in the right direction so you could have solar panels and solar water heaters. But the building department and the planning department don't want any of that. All they want is new build. And so they push the renovators to do new builds. And so they say to you, oh, and then they say, well, if you do too much renovation, it's not a renovation anymore, it's a new build. They don't even have a category for renovations anymore. It's absolutely bizarre. So you have to then do a new build, which means you have to upgrade all that stuff and everything, and it becomes non-affordable for regular people.
Okay, well, that was exactly what I was trying to get at, is finding affordability, you know, in that renovation market.
And then you get people that can actually do that, not developers, but regular folks that can take their house and be part of this system to actually make it work for them. But the way you've got it set up, it's only the developers that are going to do it. And by the way, who pays for that embedded carbon that I see them hauling out every single day from the houses that they tear down in the city? Us, the taxpayer, that's who, because it's not the developer. Every other jurisdiction in the country understands that, and they make people pay for that. They make the developers pay for the embedded carbon that's inside of there because they're reproducing it again when they build those new things. And they have places where you can take stuff and recycle it. What an idea. Okay. Let's have places where you can recycle that brand new insulation that they put in the roof in the house they're tearing down across the street from me right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sorry.
Appreciate it, no problem.
No.